on Uniben Sports 84. Anthony Joshua is back in the news. His promoter Eddie Hearn has made some claims that their first point of call would be Pulev for the IBF mandatory challenge. Then it moves on to Luis Ortiz, who's a WBA mandatory challenge. Then possibly a unification with Deontay Wilder. That is what he put out in a story on boxingscene.com. And I firmly agree with it. I don't see any problem with that. I think Joshua just recently captured the unified the IBF and WBA titles. I don't see why there's a rush to unify with Deontay Wilder. I see a lot of YouTube videos of people clamoring for a unification fight with Wilder. I don't see why people are so in a hurry. What is the rush? These two people are young fighters in their prime of their lives. This fight can drag a little bit. It doesn't have to be an immediate affair between them. I don't see why there's a rush to see a unification fight at all cost. Unification fights come with mandatory from all these boxing, all these boxing authorities and boxing organizations. They demand mandatory when you are having their belt. So that is the situation Joshua is finding himself in, because he has to, I think he even has the IBO belt, but those people, I don't think there's a lot of backing behind them, so they can't really put on a mandatory option for Joshua at this point. So they are even out of the equation. But if they were to be, they would have also come up with their mandatory challenger. So he has responsibilities to fulfill mandatory obligations with IBF and the WBA. So you can't tell me you can ignore all those things and just go and fight Deontay Wilder for unification, unification match. Because he runs the risk of getting stripped of the belts anyway. So there will be no unification even if that happens. There's no point in that. So the right thing to do is to just, and even when the fight drags on a little bit, it will generate more interest in the fight. The more spectacular performances Anthony Joshua puts up in his fights leading up to the main event, the more the fight builds up. And Deontay Wilder has to do the same. He doesn't seem to be able to get any fighter in the ring, and all he wants at this moment is Anthony Joshua. I don't know why that is the case. There's a lot of fighters out there that you could be fighting. You also have a belt that you have a mandatory challenge to. There's Luis Ortiz out there, but he don't seem to be interested in. You want Anthony Joshua at all cost. And why is that? Is that because he thinks he can beat Anthony Joshua out of the other challenges or hurdles out there? I'm curious to know why he's bent on fighting Anthony Joshua at all cost. This guy has obligations. He recently just captured the belt, so let him fulfill his obligations, and after that we can talk about a unification fight. I don't know why you're in a hurry to fight him. You just have to be concerned about his mandatory challenge. Right now I think Luis Ortiz is a mandatory challenger, so fighting Luis Ortiz and putting on a good show will be some sort of a build-up to a main event, a future clash with Joshua. So that's what you should be thinking of doing, and stop clamoring for unification with Joshua. I think Eddie Hearn made some assertions that that's what Deontay Wilder looks to do. When a fighter is tied up with the mandatory, that's when he calls the person out. I'm not really sure that is a habit of his, but in this situation, that's what it's looking like. That's what it's looking like. So I firmly agree with Eddie Hearn on this. Joshua needs to fight Pulev. Now that the Klitschko rematch didn't happen, he needs to fight Pulev. After that, Luis Ortiz. And if he's able to get through all these hurdles, then we can think about Wilder. If Wilder is able to hold his belt up to that time, that's what it should be. And I think that makes the most logic sense here. So those are my thoughts. Thank you for your time and catch you in the next video. Bye for now.